Hi everybody, biggest heart from the littlest state, Tammy right here, coming on to talk to you about something that's been absolutely driving me bonkers. I'm sorry, I'm like eating, starving. I didn't get to really enjoy my lunch today because the kids were off the hook, but I'm having hummus and pretzels. So let me talk to you a little bit about something. I'm a parent of a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old. And I do a lot of babysitting. I've done nannying. I do respite work. And the single most important thing that I can tell you as a new parent, or as a parent who has not done this yet, is to make sure you have a solid bedtime routine and make that shit like on point. Like, I don't understand why it's not a thing. It's important and healthy for the child and the parents for that kid to get to sleep. This is when your brain grows. This is when your body heals. This is when the real shit starts happening, is when you're sleeping. Your body is healing from whatever happened during the day, and not necessarily a bad thing. It's for little ones, it's reorganizing the day. It's building neural pathways, and there's a thing called synaptic pruning, where old skills are being like, I already learned how to crawl, now I know how to walk, we don't need to learn how to crawl anymore. Synaptic pruning, where the synapses in your brain is growing because it no longer needs that knowledge because it's already done that. So now it's moving on to new things. Kids can't get this if they're not sleeping. So I work in a behavioral school, and today probably 4 kids needed to sleep until at least 11:30. So that means they showed up, they were so tired from whatever the hell they did last night that they came into school either angry, combative, lethargic, tired, unable or ready to learn because, don't mind the barking, because they couldn't, and they could not, even if they wanted to, learn, they would not be able to. Hey, that's enough of that. Because they're just so damn tired. Stop it. So, here's the thing. I understand that you can't send me your child at he or she's most peak performance. Peak, you never know. Kids are unpredictable. They wake up in a shitty mood. I get it. But why would you not deliberately set them up for success by feeding them breakfast and making sure they get a good night's sleep? And I don't want to hear, all right, I've worked and I've been a child of an inner city. I was a child of divorce. I grew up in the capital of Rhode Island, in Providence, in one of the shittier sections of Providence. My parents were divorced when I was 9. Before that, whatever, whatever. My childhood was rough. But let me tell you something. My mother, when she said it was bedtime, it was bedtime. And it was not just for me. I'll be honest with you, I do not remember being tired in school. I remember waking up being ready for the day. I may not have wanted to go to school because when you're little, school sucks. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't remember being exhausted and tired. And people blame electronics today. That's not. Here's what you do. If you own the house, turn off the breaker. Game changer. Just shut the whole box down. Nobody's got electricity. Yeah, problem solved. Now you don't have to fight. Or if even better, because you don't want to be in darkness, if you have the breaker and you know which one goes to their bedroom, super, turn that one off. Downstairs, I live in an old beach house, so I've got like switches on each side. This switch goes to half of this room. This switch goes to half of this room. I'm sure everybody's house is not ridiculous like that. But I've done this before. I've shut the whole entire house down. The main breaker, boom, when the kids don't listen to me. But I never really had to do that. I think I did it once or twice. And my kid is hardcore video gamer. I always made sure he got to bed. Even as a teenager. I remember him being 16, 17 year old, 13, 14, crying like a baby because his friends are still up on Xbox Live or some shit. And I said, I don't care. Like, you need to get to sleep. They think they're not tired, but they are. So you turn the stuff off. You tell them the rules. You make the boundaries. They go to sleep. Oh shit, they're asleep in 5 minutes because they're tired. They learned all day. They had to be social. They had to be using their mind. They were learning. Their brain's tired. You have to tell them until they're old enough to recognize either for themselves or whatever that they need sleep. And my kids, I don't care who made fun of them. I don't care. You're going to bed. And at 17 years old, 18 years old, up until they were that age, their bedtime was 9 o'clock. I don't care what you do in your bed after you get up there at 9 o'clock. I made sure that they were up by 9. All the electronics and lights were off at 9:30. If not, then I turn them off. And I don't care if you lay in darkness until you fall asleep. You get on that natural circadian rhythm of sleep and getting your body to know that it's time to go to sleep. You will go to sleep. My son took medication for a while to help him sleep because he was just wired. My daughter was always a good sleeper. And here's the thing. As he got older, I didn't even have to tell him or her. They're like, damn, I'm going to bed because I'm tired. This shit's crazy. I'm exhausted. Good for you. Good for you for recognizing it. And there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, what about single moms and they're tired and you know what? Here's the thing, man. I understand. Like I said, I grew up in the city. I understand. When my parents were divorced, they weren't with somebody right away. And we were poor. We had no money. Sometimes I went to school dirty and hungry. Well, not necessarily dirty, but hungry. But I wasn't tired. The problem nowadays is that parents don't want their children to be unhappy. They don't want them to be unhappy. They don't want to hear them cry. They don't want to have them be unhappy. Because kids nowadays, what I'm noticing is that kids are bringing it to a whole new level. They're violent. They're combative. They're punching holes in walls. They're throwing things at their moms and dads, or their single moms, or their grandmothers that are raising them because their parents can't raise them. Whatever the case is, the people who are raising the children today are exhausted. And I get that. I was exhausted. When my little ones were little, my husband was working full-time, working part-time, and going to school part-time. I didn't see him much during the week. I had to make sure those kids were in bed. I was exhausted because I stayed home with them all day. And then when they went to school, I was on from the moment they got home from school until the moment it was bedtime, He didn't come home oftentimes until after they were already sleeping. But here's the thing. It's healthy for you to be stern and make boundaries for your kids to get them to sleep. It's healthy for you to say to them, it's time for you to go to bed because mom and dad need time together to chat, to talk, to catch up on the day, to snuggle, to watch TV together. These kids, they cry. They're like, oh, no. You and your partner, or you, if you're a single parent, and your sanity need to have a strong bedtime routine. Now, this video is running a little too long, so I can post another video about what I did and how I started a routine and the psychological nonsense that goes with that, because it's hardcore hard work to start a behavior that you haven't done before. So if you're having issues with getting your child to bed and you want a bedtime routine, I can give you a way to start it. What worked for me with my child that was diagnosed with ADHD, Asperger's, autism, and later on my second one with depression and anxiety disorder, it wasn't an issue because I made it clear to them that they were not going to win. And it was exhausting and it took a lot out of me. But it's the way to go. And the families that I do watch that do have a great bedtime routine, I'm like, okay, you guys, time to bed. Blah, blah, blah. And they go to bed. I'm like, whoo, these parents are on their shit, man. They got it. And those are the families that I see that are a little stronger than some of the other families. So if you can fix that one little tiny thing in your life, you're winning. And bedtime is an easy thing to fix. Well, easier than most things. And once you start with that, if you feel like your life is out of control with your toddler, with your elementary school age child, with your teenager, it's never too late to start it. It all depends on how hard you're willing to work. And to be honest with you, who's got the most stamina? And you do, because you're the boss. So that's it. Tammy, coming to you. Biggest heart, littlest state. I'll see you soon.